hard. You heard him. We're gonna have a nuclear holocaust if Trump is president, and he'll fly his plane around to the bombing stops.
Y'all know recently Eminem dropped his brand new album, The Death of Slim Shady. It's going absolutely crazy. It's doing well. It's looking like it might be on pace to do 300K his first week. Shout out to M for that. Love him as an artist. I think he's very creative. I love his controversial takes. I love his style. I think he has a lot of fun with it. But on one of his tracks, and actually several of his tracks, y'all know he is making and taking a lot of shots at some people who are fellow artists and some people who are just in media in general. One of those people he took shots at was the one and only Candace Owens. Now, I haven't followed Candace Owens like that. I know who she is. I've seen some of her content. We've actually covered her on this channel a couple of times, but I pretty much know and have an idea of what she stands for and a lot of her conservative views, right? But this is not the first time Eminem and Candace Owens have had a back and forth. Y'all remember Eminem had a whole video that he released. Jeez, this was a while back when he dropped the video. And Candace Owens reacted to the video that Eminem made. Listen to this. These are the first shots that she took at Eminem and probably how everything started between the two with their beef. Because it's a beef now. It's on.
Do your best not to cringe. Take a listen.
But we better give Obama props, because what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for shit to quiet down,
I remember this freestyle too.
Plane up and fly around till the bombing stops.
Oh, hard. You heard him. We're gonna have a nuclear holocaust if Trump is president, and he'll fly his plane around to the bombing stops.
Listen, this is why you cannot take these.
Shout out to Candace Owens, man. This video is absolutely hilarious. So again, she was going back and forth with Eminem about his conspiracy theories and how he's basically tried to push a certain type of agenda and she thinks he's corny. Well, on the recent album, Eminem took shots directly at Candace and she had a response here, which is wild. I was shocked at some of the things she said in this video, but y'all check it out and you can let me know what you think for yourself.
Because there's a lot happening here. First thing I want to say is Eminem is obviously a gay man. It's very sad that Eminem cleaned out.
What? How's you gonna start out with that, man? Oh, this is going bad already.
Because there's a lot happening here. First thing I want to say is Eminem is obviously a gay man. It's very sad that Eminem cleaned out his closet but never came out of his closet. But let's get to his lyrics. I'll read them to you. He writes or says or raps, and Candace O, I ain't mad at her. I ain't gonna throw the fact BITCH forgot she was black at her. Oh, laugh at her like them crackers she's backing after her back is turned. In a cute MAGA hat with her brand new White Lives Matter shirt. Haha, nope. Or say this MAGA dirtbag in a skirt just opened the biggest can of worms on the whole planet Earth. Call her Grand Wizard, yeah, Candace, haha, or Grand Dragon, or like the national anthem, I won't stand for the tramp. Why? But I can diss her, because my plans are to get in her pants, and I'll blow my chance if I answer back to her. Oh, but
all right, so this is crazy. First of all, shout out to Eminem again with the lyricism. I got to give him a round of applause. But dang, Em, why'd you have to go at Candace like that? I mean, I get they have history and she's talked about him, but this just seems like kind of a random shot from M. Lyrically, it's hilarious, man. It's funny to listen to. I thought it was good. Do we think he should have went at Candace? I don't know. Y'all have to let me know in the comments, especially with her being married and having kids. Maybe she should be off limits and she's not an artist. Y'all let me know.
Because his plans are to get in my pants. Ew, you disgust me. Okay, a lot going on here. I think first and foremost, I just would like to again remind people that he is in fact a struggling internally gay man. And so there's a lot happening with Eminem, and we should pray for him. On the second point, the way that we know that is because he's actually recycling things that black women have said about me on the internet. Like, he's pretending this is original, calling me Candace. It's not. This is like he's just recycling the black women that don't like me on the internet, have a lot of names for me, one of them being Candy O.
It's kind of funny though. I mean, you got to give it to Eminem. It's funny. And now if it was popular, he made it publicly popularized, because it's kind of funny.
So he's like watched what they're saying, and I guess someone who was listening to him in the booth was like, yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, drop the beat. They're really going to like that. By the way, there's a second song he also dropped. This one's called Bad One, and the lyrics are this about me. Yeah, this whole subgenre with all these corny white rappers, I'm not a fan of it. It ain't my fault, but like sock puppets, I had a hand in it. This $1,000 in my hand is just like what Candace did when she turned her back on her own race, because I have abandoned it. Oh, oh my, so cool. That's a tough one. That's so tough. The black community is going to be going crazy. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Actually, I'm doing this because I want to help him go viral, because this is sad. This is very sad.
Dang.
I want you to feel sad for Eminem, because this is just not the way for someone's career to go down the drain. And I want us all to do our part to help make Eminem relevant again, at the very least, and he can be relevant just by me speaking about him. He understands that. By the way, I did...
Ooh, hold on a second. Dang. So Candace said she can make Eminem relevant again just by talking about him. Candace,
Stop the cap.
I don't know about that one, because the people who are following and listening and mainly supporting Candace aren't going to go check out Eminem's new album just because he talked about her. So I get it was trying to be a slight, but you're missing me on that one, because I don't see anybody from the Candace side of things going over and be like, oh, I'm going to check out Eminem now because Candace was talking about him. So I think you lose a point for that one, Candace.
Earlier, they were asking me, like, you know, in part, though, aren't you honored that someone who is recognized as the greatest white rapper of all time is dedicating all of this time to you? And I said no, because it would have meant something if he was at his prime. As an example, Dave Chappelle, he made a really, honestly, it was kind of a hideous joke about me. I didn't think the joke itself was funny, but I did appreciate the fact that Dave Chappelle, who is the most famous comedian in the entire world at the peak of his career, was mentioning me on stage. Like, when
that's a good point.
Sad about George Floyd, and he did this whole skit, and he said some awful things about me. I did have that moment where I went, wow, Dave Chappelle knows who I am. This is not that with Eminem. He is not at the peak of his career.
Oh, yo, all right, so she might have him on this one. She's definitely right. So when it comes to, I mean, popularity for Eminem, he's on the downside of his career. As we see from the album, he's considering just being done creating music in general. So might have to give her a point back on that one. This isn't peak Eminem that we're hearing right now.
He's at the end of it. His career should have ended like 15 years ago, and he keeps going. And so this is not a rapper that's at the top. He's actually doing he's going through a strategy that a lot of new rappers do, where they find out who is the big rapper and they start a beef, right? He's like, oh, nobody knows who I am, so I'm just gonna start a beef with Candace Owens. And he's just fading out of the American mindset entirely. So this is what he's come up with. And I wanna say this, genuinely, the pander here is pathetic.
Well, it's a smart move on his part, because she's talking about it, and now I'm talking about her talking about him talking about it. So again, this is the age we live in. I know we talk about it here a lot on the channel when it comes to utilizing the publicity that you're getting to be able to push your music, to push whatever product you have or whatever brand you're building. And in this case, I mean, this wasn't invented by new rappers. This is a classic play that has been used for a very, very long time. The only thing now is it's heightened because of the algorithm that is social media. So now I talk about something, somebody talks about me talking about something, Candace talks about somebody talking about me talking about something that somebody else said, and then you're in the algorithm, you get pushed, people look for you, and then there's going to be a few people that are going to find you and support and actually want to be a part of what you're doing, and that's how you can continue to grow. So for me, I mean, it would probably, if I started a beef with somebody, that would probably help the brand grow, because there were people who would take and choose sides from that, right? So this strategy is not anything new. I think it's a smart play on Eminem's part, and Candace is just showing here again how he made the right move, because she's talking about it.
Literally making a plea to the public. I hate white people. That's what he's saying. He's calling white people crackers. He's using a slur against his own people, while at the same time, unironically, accusing me of
It's wild that she said that, by the way.
He's like, she turned her back on her own race, as he turns his back on his race and calls them crackers. I've never used slurs to describe Black Americans because I don't have an issue with my race, but you very much have an issue with yours. And the other thing is, like, he doesn't even know what his audience is. Again, this feels very maybe could have done something in 2016 when the whole world was, you know, so anti-Trump and it was the George Floyd moment. He doesn't even understand what's happening. I mean, that conversation has broken in the Black community. That's why Trump's numbers are up. Beyond that, I've been on the Breakfast Club. I've done Joe Budden. Like, Black Americans are following this podcast. They actually like me. I went viral on a few of those channels, on Instagram channels the other day because of my conversation with Don Lemon. They're starting to hear what I have been saying, because back in 2016, when I was saying Black Lives Matter was a fraudulent organization, people were not ready to listen to that. But then what happened was they proved that they were a fraudulent organization, and people said, yeah, no, I think Candace may have been trying to tell us that, and she was right, and maybe I need to listen to her rather than listen to what other people are telling me about her. And one of those people that they're not going to listen to is you, Eminem, because you're just so irrelevant. Your music isn't good anymore. And like I said, you're the one that's actually cosplaying a race that you aren't. You're desperate for Black Americans to pick up your tracks because you abandoned the audience of a lot of people who were listening to your music.
Dang! What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think she's right? Man, that's a crazy statement. We gotta run that back a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think Candace may have been trying to tell us that, and she was right, and maybe I need to listen to her rather than listen to what other people are telling me about her. And one of those people that they're not going to listen to is you, Eminem, because you're just so irrelevant. Your music isn't good anymore.
Okay, she said he's so irrelevant, his music isn't good anymore. Because of who Eminem is, he will always be relevant. I mean, he's the, is it even an argument? He's the greatest white rapper ever in the history of rapping. I don't think there's an argument there. So whatever Eminem says is going to be relevant. So I don't know if I give her that one.
And like I said, you're the one that's actually cosplaying a race that you aren't. You're desperate for Black Americans to pick up your tracks because you abandoned the audience of a lot of people who were listening to your music. I'm a trailer park kid, and then what did you do? You dunked on kids from the trailer park. You dunked on an entire middle class of white people who loved your music.
But that's his thing, though. I mean, you even y'all saw in the Houdini music video. He says my kids, and his kids are in the video. So again, you have to kind of understand who Eminem is as an artist. You have to understand the history to be able to see why he does the things that he does. It's just Eminem, and he just loves to talk ish about everybody. So I don't know. She might have missed the mark on this one.
For what reason other than you misread the room? And the reason that you misread the room, rather, is because what's actually happened to Eminem is he's an out-of-touch elitist. He is. This is what happens. He is now a lefty elitist. He belongs on a campaign trail with Hillary Clinton when she runs for the third or fourth time. That's what he should be doing, because he's pretending to know anything about what's going on. The reality is that a lot of those people in the country that he doesn't like, take it from me, I moved to Tennessee, have a lot more in common with the people that he's trying to appeal to. I think he thinks he's appealing to, like, what, the hood? They have a lot more in common because these are regular people who are suffering in different but similar ways, who recognize that the economy is not good, and an Eminem track is not going to make it better. Here's the last thing I want to say about Eminem.
Yeah, Candace, I don't think it's that deep, honestly. I think she's kind of missing the artistry side of it. Eminem is just taking shots, and that's what Eminem does. I don't think there's anything deeper behind it. He's saying, this is my opinion, this is my view, and I'm gonna say it in my music. So I don't think, I think she's kind of missing the boat there on this one.
Eminem. He is a lesson to a lot of people out there that you need to know when it's time for you to retire. You don't want to retire on this note, right? Eminem is 51 years old. He has not modified his brand at all. He's not grown up. Most people know that you do have to evolve your brand, right? You can even see this as just one example.
And again, man, she's wrong again. All right, this is kind of disappointing on Candace's part. He has evolved, because we saw, even when he's talking about the death of Slim Shady in this entire album, he's talking about Marshall versus Slim Shady and kind of the battle that he's gone through there. So you can see his whole entire track record as an artist to where he built up to this moment. So, yeah, Candace, I think you're missing the mark on this one completely. Eminem has definitely evolved. Maybe he hasn't specifically evolved his sound, but when it comes to the message, we've definitely seen a clear back and forth with Eminem.
Miley Cyrus, like in 2016 or maybe a little bit before, she was like shaking her butt, we can't stop twerking, and now she's cleaning it up and she's singing music that's still catchy, but it's not so crass. And she's actually giving interviews saying that, you know, this is who I was because I wanted to break out of the Disney shell, and this is who I am, and this is where I'm going. And I don't think she gets it right all the time, but I can at least recognize that she's evolving. Eminem's not evolving. He still thinks that he's a 13-year-old boy who is rapping in his room, and that somehow people are going to find that appealing, when in reality, he's 51 years old. His daughter, or maybe he's older than 51, his daughter has just gotten married, which means that Eminem should be behaving more like a potential grandparent. Like he's granddad. This is granddad shady. You know what I mean? But granddad is not acting like a granddad. I'm going to need granddad to start acting like a granddad and not producing this trash to pander to the black community. That's what I want to say.
All right, that last one. Hey, that last one, she definitely got him with Grandpa Shady. But y'all have to let me know what you think in the comments. Is Candace right about this? Has Eminem not evolved? Is he on the downside of his career? Is he not relevant anymore? And was this just a play for him to get clout off of Candace? Y'all tell me in the comments and in the chat. This is an absolutely hilarious moment.